So yeah, apologies for my voice. I'm sick as a dog at the moment. I've taken a day off work and I just can't sit still, but I can't spread germs to customers, so here I am playing with the car again. But honestly, I feel like crap, so I am sorry. But anyways, I want to get this thing started today. There's not a great deal that needs to be done to it to actually run. It's just I've been putting off getting a few things. I need to get a silicon elbow to go from the inlet manifold to the airflow meter. I want to put that in. I need to get a radiator reservoir overflow box, which I'm pretty sure I can just get from Super Cheap or Autobarn or whoever stocks it. They shouldn't be too expensive. I need to put a clamp on the bottom, the bottom radiator hose outlet. There's a couple of clamps I have to put under the fuel lines under the car. And then pretty much it's just going to be grabbing a drum of fuel, putting it in the fuel tank, making sure that the fuel pump primes, and I also have to wire up the fuel pump with the positive power lead. I've already got that wired in. It's just a matter of plugging it onto the back of the fuel pump. So I want to make sure that the fuel pump actually primes fuel in. I want to see fuel in the fuel filter, knowing that it's coming up the line, feeding the fuel rail, and then hopefully my fuel return that I've made into the back of the fuel tank there works. I don't want fuel splashing anywhere, especially out the cap of the fuel tank. So I've got to monitor that, and then once I'm happy with it, I want to turn the key and see if I can just get it to idle. I don't have the intercooler finished. It's not connected from here to there, so it's not going to be able to boost or anything, but it still will allow it to run with the airflow meter on. So that's today's goal. I really hope I can get this thing started. I've never heard this particular car run in the 2.5 years I've owned it. I have been in the donor car that had this engine in it, and the guy took me for a drive and it was awesome. So I know the engine runs. It's just that can I get it running? Because the other guy did, but I did. Yeah. But it sounds good. So fingers crossed I can get this thing fired up again and give me more motivation to get this thing finished. But again, sorry for my voice. Let's go shopping. Alright, just got back from the shop. Got all my necessities. Some radiator fluid. Got some fuel. I got a pipe here for my airflow meter. I hope it fits. They didn't have exactly the right size, but regardless. I got some medication. Got some tissues. Got some of these bad boys. There should be another one in here. Oh. There it is. Let's see if this fits. So pretty much, that's going to be cut down a little bit onto there. They didn't have a 67mm, so I had to buy a 70. I'm hoping I can get that to squish down really well. It is only the air inlet. It's not the end of the world, but I'll get that on there, no problems. And then that one will go on there, which I've got to stretch over a little bit because it didn't quite have an 80mm, so I've got 76. So let's try and get that on as step one. Alrighty, so it's on, and there's no bracket holding this up at the moment, so it's just kind of like dangling down a bit. So I'll have to make up a bracket to hold that in place and keep that up a little bit more kind of straight. But regardless, there's enough room in there for a little air filter, which is good. I just plugged in the plug to the airflow meter. So next step is I may as well do the radiator clamp, and also I got to go under the car and just put a little hose clamp on a thing. You don't need to see that, okay? I'm putting a clamp over that, so I won't play that, but once it's done, I'll be back. Sweet, hose clamps are on there and there. Next step will be fuel. So going to put 20 litres of fuel in here, and hopefully I get no leaks. I guess that's really step one, isn't it? All right, fuel is in. Next step, after my awesome call with somebody trying to save me 7% of my electricity bill, I have to hook up positive and negative there. And we're getting close to turning the key, so I'll do this quickly. I have that all wired up now. So power, negative from the terminal. When I tested it this way, it was working fine, so hopefully it still works with fuel in it. I don't see why not. Caps on. All that's over there. That's good. This is sorted. Got my clamps and everything. I've got a temporary radiator overflow container down there. Just temporary though. Crap. Where's my battery? Alright, well, I need a battery before I can turn the key, so let's go find that. Alrighty, so the battery that I was using was my brother's, and it was for his boat, and he sold his boat. So there's no battery here. Damn, that sucks. I'll sort something out. I will find a battery. I'll be back. Well, Mr. Bombador, your days are numbered. I am going to steal your heart. Good old donor Holden battery. It will do the job, I hope. So I've got it wired up. I haven't plugged in the alternator wire because I don't really care too much about that right now. Maybe it needs to be, I don't know, we'll sort it out. That's on, ignition's off, everything's plugged in. The last I have to do is just quickly fill this with fluid. Then I'll turn the key and see if I can get that pump to prime, and I'll be able to tell because fuel will come rushing through this fuel filter. So let's do this. Alright, so I got the radiator filled. I've left the cap off just so I can see what's going on with the actual fluid inside. I don't think I'm going to run it long enough to get hot, so the thermostat kicks on, so I don't think there's going to be much fluid within the engine, but we'll see how it goes. Pretty much I just want to turn the key, see if I can prime the fuel pump, and then if I'm feeling game enough, I'll try to start it. We'll see. So this has not been started. Well, I've had the car for 2.5 years. Putting this engine in it and getting it started is going to be a massive, massive, massive step for me. I've done a lot of work to it, and once it's actually running, I will get a lot of motivation to finish it as soon as possible. I'll be able to do some gauges, some temperature gauges, oil pressure gauges, all that kind of stuff, and actually get progress done on the car. Because with the engine running, I can do a lot more. With the engine not running, you can't do much. You're very limited. So let's do this. Wish me luck. Right, so I'm just going to try and prime the fuel pump first. This way. Make sure it's in neutral, of course. There's fuel. and I can hear it going in. The fuel pump's quiet. I'll go check the back of the car and make sure the plumbing's good. Just want to make sure the fuel return is working correctly. So far, so good. Well, so far it seems good. There's fuel in here that I saw bubble up and rush through, which is really good. You won't be able to hear it, but I can hear the fuel coming through the rail. The pump is just making a very slight humming noise, but it's actually ridiculously quiet. So I'm really happy with that. I can feel it running. I'm going to turn the key and see what happens. Moment of truth. If it blows up, well then I got a bit more work to do. If not, then we'll be doing some celebrating. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Oh, I'm gonna do that again. Alright, so she fires, but doesn't want to run. We're getting really close. I'm just going to shut it down and do another check on everything that I've got going on just to make sure the intercooler is not hooked up, and it's a force-fed engine, so it's reading the air going in. The air is then being sent to the intake manifold, but because the intercooler is not connected, it's not getting air. So pretty much it's just not running. It's getting all the fuel it needs, but it's not getting air. And unlike a typical engine that would just suck air in from its own device, it's all being controlled with an airflow meter. So temporarily, and it's very dodgy, and I'm not going to do much with this, but check this out. I've just bypassed the intercooler. Thank God I got flexible pipe for this, so I'm pretty happy that's come in useful. So this will hold just idling pressure, no problem at all. The second I hit boost, it's going to pop this off because that's just tape. But this is just going to allow the car to idle, I hope. I've just had a bit of a break. I've got an appointment with my accountant. I have to go back and get the battery out of my Holden and put it back here. So I'm going to get that, hook it up, back the way it was, test it this way, and fingers crossed we can get it to idle. Because if it idles with this configuration, I know 100% it's going to idle when the intercooler is all connected, because that's where it's supposed to be anyway. Let's do it. Okay, battery is back in. Everything seems to be wired up. I'm a little bit nervous. My super duper temporary makeshift intercooler bypass is on. I might put a little bit more tape on that just in case. It's not gonna. I don't want it to run for a while or anything like that. I really don't want it to run much at all. I just need to know that it can idle, etc., etc. Just to know that the thing runs. I'll take this cap back off. put that out of the way for now, just to keep an eye on things. Check, 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 check. No leaks anywhere, which is really good. I went under the car and I double checked all that stuff too, so that would like suck a lot if I had a fuel leak. It's the last thing I need right now. Trusty cardboard holder. Need to get one more of these things, like I said before. That's all in. No leaks or drips through the fuel return. I hope the fuel return's working. That's something I can't actually check. But we'll soon find out. My beautiful, nice, messy ass dash. So pretty much we are about to start it. I'll put you guys back down. And might put a little bit more tape on here first. Alrighty. Tape's on. Should hold for idle at least. Wish me luck. Let's give it a go. That's a lot better. So it's being a bit hesitant, but I don't know, it might just be cold. Also, there was the previous owner put a little bolt in the vacuum line going from the exhaust manifold to the intake manifold. So I just kind of took that little bolt out to allow it to pick up pressure, because he did have the two turbos, the vacuum lines connected, because he was running a boost gauge and he was running a boost controller where I've deleted that. So that might have something to do with vacuum pressure or something allowing it to idle, but I'll try it again. Might give it a bit of throttle and see if like extra fuel helps. pretty happy. Man alive. That's all I'm doing. I ain't running it any more than that. Not until it's all connected and I can get all the sensors and stuff wired up. But damn, it was really rough. Like, it was really rough initially. You could hear like it was missing a few cylinders and stuff, but I gave it a bit of gas. And it blew a bunch of smoke out the back, and then all the cylinders are running fine, so it wasn't like lumpy anymore. It was nice and smooth. So a bit of a blast out with some revs. Holy crap, I am stoked. This is like years of work. And with this little makeshift here pipe, seems to have done the job just to get the car running, so I know that it does run, it does work. It sounds good, it's smooth, there's no knocks, there's no clunks. I've got oil in there, so don't worry, I did put oil in here. Holy crap. That is very exciting. Well, I think I'm done for the day. I'm going to put this battery back in my Holden, like I said earlier. Again, doesn't look like there's any leaks or any problems like that, which is really, really good. Ah, jeez, no fuses are blown, the alternator's working. Man, happy as. Cheers, guys. Before I go, I'll do one more run. And I'll go to the back, see if you can hear the exhaust a bit nicer. Oh yeah.